diverse perspectives in leadership, as I know, as you know. Just to be clear from the outside, the thing I've been interested in since Angola, probably before, is the responsibility of choice that falls to leaders. Particularly choices that affect the lives of others within organizations and within society. In my experience, that's been the most defining feature of leadership, and something you never really appreciate until you're sitting in that chair. Because as many of you will be well aware of, important aspects of leadership involve decisions in relation to resource allocation. And in those situations, there's always winners and losers, there's always resentments and bitterness and annoyance and lingering resentments afterwards. But it can be worse than that. I spent a good number of years leading humanitarian operations in Angola during the civil war there. And that led to some choices which were filled with much more anguish than budget allocations. In my book on ethical leadership, I write about on occasions where I had to decide prioritizing the lives of one group of people over another group of people and learning how to live with that afterwards as well. So given that those are the realities of leadership, I think it's self-evident that an ideal of ethical leadership must be important within all of that. And by ethical leadership, I mean the effort to make life-affirming choices in all of the decisions that you make. And by life-affirming choices, I mean it's drawn from Kate Raworth's notion of the donut economics. On one hand, you should try to ensure that all decisions you're making are maximizing environmental restoration, and all decisions you're making are upholding the ideals of human rights. And that should be the framework of the choices that you are making. Now, when we're making choices, it's important to bear in mind that these always occur in what I call in my book the cruciform of agency. And by that I mean that there are aspects of every choice, whether that's to do with a love affair, or work, or war, which have social aspects. Those are the rules, the resources associated with it, the laws, policies, practices, the finances, or people who are associated with that choice. And then there's the personal aspects of choice, the ones relating to the choice maker's aspirations and experiences, the ones relating most fundamentally to their moral values. This is something which Jim's talked about and touched upon already. Now, the dialogue between those social and personal aspects, you can conceive of interacting orthogonally, hence the idea of the cruciform coming out of that. So, there's a paper I read when I was doing my PhD by Craig and Greenbaum from 2002, where they talk about decision-making of executives within a South African mining operation. And one of the things that they found was interesting in this was that they would raise from time to time with these research subjects ethical issues like terms and conditions of workers or health and safety or the environmental damage that they were doing. And every time they raised this, the response was always, yes, we see what you're saying, but unfortunately the company requires us to do this in order to get the job done. And Craig and Greenbaum make the comment on this that actually, if you think about it, they're the company. They have created this myth of a company which is giving them instructions whenever they are creating the reality themselves through their own choices. And this denial of personal responsibility is something which is quite common in relation to a lot of choices, ethical choices in the world today. It is one of the central reasons why there's been constraints on making progress on the issue of contemporary forms of slavery. At the last estimate, it was estimated that there's about 15 million people in the world today who are enslaved. Now, I've rarely met anyone who is in favour of slavery in principle, but there's an awful lot of people who are in favour of slavery in practice. And if you have any doubt about that, look at the way in which politicians from left to right in Europe today embrace the notion of hostile environments for migrants, in spite of the fact that it is established that those hostile environments enable the enslavement and forced labour and sexual exploitation of hundreds of thousands of people in the world today. Work and safe migration would be something which would contribute directly to reduction of forced labour in the world, and yet it is something which is almost taboo in many countries today. So on the personal aspects of leadership, particularly the moral responsibility of the leader for the consequences of their choices is abandoned, then ethical leadership becomes impossible. But this isn't an uncommon thing. We all know the history. The Nazis used the idea of just following orders in order to try and excuse themselves from some moral responsibility for the atrocities that they were involved in. Henry Kissinger infamously used the notion of realpolitik in order to justify his bloody foreign policy in relation to Bangladesh and Cambodia and Vietnam, which led to millions of people being killed. Today, Joe Biden, Olaf Scholz, Keir Starmer, and David Lammy use the formulation of Israel has the right to defend itself to justify their craven complicity in war crimes and genocide. But the words used in each of those examples is different. Their purpose is the same. It's an explicit attempt to disguise moral bankruptcy and evade basic leadership responsibilities for the catastrophic human consequences of their choices.